It's Friday, October 17th, 2014, and let's talk about what happened this week over at xdadevelopers.com. First up, as another follow-up to Aline Yurpalea's talk at DevCon, Sony promised to expand their AOSP, and as of this week, they've added both the Xperia Z1 and Z2 devices to their GitHub. That does mean that the Z3 still isn't in there, but it is probably just a matter of time before that happens. Additionally, they put together a unified kernel, which can be used for every supported device. Very cool stuff there. Apparently there are some issues with building the software for these newer devices though, in that the camera and the modem don't quite work with it. Of course they are working on that, so if you've got the Z1 or the Z2 and you've been waiting on an AOSP release to start working on that new ROM, go ahead and jump on it. Now speaking of custom ROMs, some interesting info came out this week that actually is old news, but still, it's something that came back up. That supposedly there's a pretty nasty vulnerability in CyanogenMod and CM-based ROMs that allows for man-in-the-middle attacks due to bad SSL hostname verification. The CM team have gone ahead and made a statement rejecting it flat out, saying it only affected Android 4.3 and below, and the vulnerability referenced, the code about it and everything is not even in CM11. That said, if you're running a ROM that's based on CM10, you might want to read up more on the article, maybe see if there's a CM11 based ROM out there for your device, just in case, right? Next up, Chainfire has been working hard yet again, and he's put out a new version of Super SU as of this week, version 2.13. With this new release, there are now versions for both 32 and 64-bit devices, and it should be fully compatible with Android L. There's a pretty decent sized changelog for this new version over on the portal if you'd like to learn a little bit more about it, of course. Now, speaking of Android L, the big news I know you guys are all chomping at the bit to hear about. This week, Google finally unveiled the next major version of Android, which is going to be numbered 5.0, and they're calling it Lollipop. Coming along with this, there's 3 new devices: the Nexus 6, made by Motorola, the Nexus 9 coming from HTC, and the Nexus Player from Asus, which is an Android TV device. Most of the stuff that came out about the Nexus 6 and 9 were previously leaked, but the pricing on the Nexus 6 is seeming to be what surprises people the most. The base Nexus 6, which comes with 32 gigs of storage, is $650, which is a pretty significant increase over the Nexus 5. They say, however, the Nexus 5 is still going to be available for sale, so now I guess there's just going to be more of a premium tier device for a more premium price. As far as the Nexus 9 though, I'm quite excited to see that one since it's going to have the new 64-bit Tegra K1 inside of it. I'm actually curious to see how it would stack up next to the Shield tablets, so I'm going to have to try to get my hands on it, since the Shield tablet had the 32-bit K1 and this one has the 64-bit K1. It looks like pre-orders are now available for the Nexus 9. It's $399 for the 16 gig version. It goes up to I think $479 for the higher end version. And to go along with all these new devices, of course, there are new forums on XDA for all of them, as well as a forum for the newly announced Motorola Droid Turbo, which is kind of similar to the Nexus 6, but with a bigger battery. And anyway, as usual, 3 other videos were posted to XDA TV this week. TK did another Exposed Tuesday, showing you how to disable Google Map tips. And then Adam talked a little bit about the Big Android Barbecue, which unfortunately I'm gonna have to miss out on. And then TK did an app review showing you how to customize your volume controls using noise. But you know what? That's going to be about all from me for today. You can find the links to all the stories I talked about down in the video description as usual, as well as the links to my YouTube channels. Remember, if you like this video, please leave us a like down below the video and subscribe to receive all of our content as soon as it becomes available. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.